Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. I am digital host A.J. Wuest, excited to bring another Before the Four to you this Friday afternoon. If you're new to Before the Four, I want to welcome you. And this is just a little interactive live stream where I talk about today's top stories before the evening newscasts. And if you're returning to Before the Four, I want to thank you for spending a little bit of your afternoons with me. But with that said, let's dive in to today's top stories, shall we? And starting things off with weather, there may be some moving in over the weekend. So make sure you all stick around for tonight's forecast to get the latest weather update. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you get that 48 First Alert weather app and get those notifications delivered directly to your phone. And never miss weather update again. Now, speaking of weather, North Alabamians are no stranger to severe weather. And as we saw just few weeks ago, when those destructive tornadoes swept through the Tennessee Valley. In Huntsville alone, cleanup crews hauled away more than 3.1 million pounds of debris from that severe storm. And 48 Sean Dowling, he spoke with Huntsville-Madison County EMA Director Jeff Birdwell. And let's take a listen to what he had to say.
It's not a quick process. The scene's got to be, power lines got to be taken care of. Then you've got to clear the roads. Then you've got to get people in that will take care of the personal property. So it is a process, and considering the time and where they're at now, I think they did a great job.
Yes, and that was Birdwell right there. Certainly a quite.
It's not a quick process. The
quite
scene's got to be safe.
Scene right there. Let me
power lines got to be taken care of
for you all. But yeah, it was quite a crazy cleanup. 3.1 million pounds of debris. I can't even imagine. But yes, let's head in to our next story now. And this is out in Coleman. A crazy story out there in Coleman. But one is dead and another is in custody after a police chase that spanned across multiple counties just early this morning. This chase began in Hartselle and it continued southbound into Coleman County. Now, according to Coleman County Sheriff's Office, the suspect crashed into several other vehicles during the chase. The coroner's office has confirmed that one is dead. That person, she has been identified as Alara Dixon of Crane Hill. And then Hartselle Police, Falkville Police, Coleman Police, and the Alabama State Troopers were all involved in the scene. Now, we do not know the identity, or we have recently learned the identity of the suspect, and we are told that, or the suspect is in custody. Sorry, I cannot talk today, but the suspect in that scene is in custody. And here is our next story, and this will be coming up in just a few minutes in our nightly newscasts. But a very wild story. A Florida man was indicted by a grand jury for multiple child sex exploitation and cyberstalking charges here in Alabama. Now, according to the Department of Justice, a 9-count indictment charged 23-year-old Trayvon Lamont Brown, that's who you see on screen there, with 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children, 2 counts of coercion and enticement of a minor, and 3 counts of cyberstalking. Now, according to the indictment, Brown enticed 2 people by use of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion to cause those 2 individuals to engage in commercial sex acts here in Madison County last June. Now, Brown was also charged with cyberstalking 3 people in Jefferson County between December 2020 and August 2023. He allegedly harassed and intimidated his victims on apps like Snapchat, and TextNow. And I'm taking you to a scene out in Decatur where yesterday afternoon a man fired a bullet at an occupied SUV near a Walmart as a result of road rage. Now, we've since learned that a 1-year-old was inside that SUV. Decatur police arrested Joseph McAflin in connection to the incident. He is now out on bond, but according to investigators, the incident actually began on Beltline Road The two drivers then drove to the Walmart to continue the confrontation, and that was when McLaughlin allegedly fired into the vehicle. Luckily, no one, including the 1-year-old, was injured, but quite crazy scene there. And now I'm taking you guys out to Lawrence County, where earlier today we learned that a man, he was arraigned in federal court last week on multiple child sex exploitation charges. 46-year-old David Edward Collier, he was indicted with 13 counts, including 4 counts of exploitation of a child, 8 counts of transportation of child pornography, and 1 count of possession of child porn. Now, according to the indictment, Collier used, induced, or coerced minors to engage in sexually explicit conduct. Now, between January 2017 through August 2022, FBI North Alabama Violent Crime Task Force and Cybercrime Squad investigated the case, along with several other departments. And now we will be staying in the Shoals. And this is Brian Elmo Schletter. He was indicted by a Lauderdale County grand jury this month on 80 counts of production of obscene matter and 80 counts of possession of obscene matter. Both involved a child under the age of 17. Now, according to our news partners at the Times Daily, his arraignment is set for August 1st. Lauderdale County Chief Assistant District Attorney Angie Hamilton said a tip from 2023 from the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force program, which led up to the investigation. The tip involved an account on the live stream site Twitch. Now, authorities confiscated Schletter's cell phone and interviewed him about his social media accounts. He listened the Twitch account involved in the case among them. Now out in Redstone Arsenal, and this is where 48 reporter Matthew King will be. He was out on Redstone Arsenal today as Gold Star families remember their loved ones. Matthew will be reporting live on these Gold Star families, so make sure you stick around. And also, 48's Aria Pons, she will be out in Muscle Shoals, and she spoke with a school superintendent on one school system's plans for security upgrades over the summer. So again, make sure you stick around. Well, you all know it is Friday, and you guys know what that means. That means Kitchen Cops. That's right, this week's ratings are in, so make sure you stick around for tonight's newscast to see what scored poorly in Madison County, DeKalb, and Morgan County. You can also find the full web story on our website. Just go to WAFF.com. Now, if you're looking for some things to do this weekend, maybe you're staying here, maybe you're traveling, no matter what you're doing, well, if you are traveling, I know chances are you're going to need to fill up that tank. The other day, I got to speak with Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan and what he thinks prices will look like at the pump this holiday weekend. Let's take a listen. And obviously burning some gas. Patrick, first, what are you seeing on a national level as far as the gas price trends are moving heading into the holiday weekend?
Well, at least for now, the national average has declined for 4 straight weeks. The national average falling about 15 cents a gallon since mid-April. We now are looking at a price of about $3.57 a gallon. It's about 6 cents higher than last year, so a little bit higher than last year, but the good news is the trends have been downward. That's been true in Huntsville as well. The average price of gasoline in Huntsville, about $3.19 a gallon. That's down about 4 cents in the last week. So certainly nice to see as 3/4 of the nation is preparing to hit the road for summer travel.
Very awesome. And so it's looking pretty good for us Alabamians. It looks like gas is going down just a little bit. So that was Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan, and that was a super awesome interview. If you want to check that interview out, just go to WAFF.com. You can go to the digital shows section in 48 now. But other things going on this weekend in the area, the Decatur Jubilee Hot Air Balloon Classic. We all know and love that. Hopefully the weather will hold out for that as well. and the 44th annual Cotton Row Run at Big Spring Park on Memorial Day. I got to speak with former Huntsville Track Club president Eric Fritz on the Cotton Row Run, and I also got to speak with event president of the Hot Air Balloon Festival. So definitely am rooting for the weather to hold up because I really want to ride in one of those hot air balloons. And my mom, like I said yesterday, she got to ride in one. She recently took a trip out to New Mexico and Albuquerque, which is known for their hot air balloons as well. And she was bragging about, yeah, I got to ride a hot air balloon and you didn't. And I'm like, well, that's just great. But anyway, I really want to ride one of those hot air balloons. And if anyone's watching at home and you want to ride a hot air balloon also, just comment, me too. I want to ride one so bad. But another thing you can do this weekend, you can catch the Trash Pandas, who are staying in town all weekend in their series against in-state rivals, the Montgomery Biscuits. Very heated rivalry there, I suppose. But I am looking on Facebook now. If you guys have any comments or anything to say, feel free to leave a comment, like I said. But now it is time for the good side, where 13-year-old boy with a passion for singing, he goes viral in his rendition of our national anthem. Hannah Burbank with Wiz News 10 spoke with him, and let's check it out.
Here today to perform the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome Sawyer McCarthy.
This video of Sawyer singing the Star Spangled Banner at the Columbia Fireflies game quickly went viral. With over 9 million views on Facebook, the video has reached people not just in South Carolina or even the United States, but all across the world.
There were people from South Africa, Sawyer, Australia,
What else?
Germany.
Oh, I mean, it went way too far.
There were people from New Zealand, Canada. A lot of Canadians actually commented and said wonderful things. And what I think is beautiful about that is if you think it's the American national anthem, that Sawyer's voice has had the ability to not just unite America, but nations. And that's so unique. And that is Sawyer. That is really who he is.
John Oliver, the promotions and fan engagement manager with the Fireflies, says Sawyer had sung God Bless America for the Fireflies last year on the 4th of July. And they were eager to have Sawyer back at the ballpark to once again share his voice with his fellow baseball fans.
You saw the video, you heard the voice. We just had to have him out here in front of our fans. Honestly, it's just, I'm just glad that people are able to see that the gift that Sawyer has and that he's able to put those smiles on people's faces.
Sawyer is a natural-born talent, never having a voice lesson before in his life. His parents say it's a gift from the Lord. But his young life has not been without hardships. When he was just 3 months old, his parents noticed Sawyer was not squinting when his mom was walking with him outside in the stroller. It was an unexpected moment that changed their lives forever.
When we went to the doctor, they did an MRI of his brain and noticed that he was missing the middle of his brain, the midline structure. After we did the scan, that's when they took us to an ophthalmologist and they told us that he had optic nerve hypoplasia. So with that comes blindness, sometimes some learning disabilities, cognitive disability, loss of gross motor function. But Sawyer is just your typical 13-year-old. He does have some issues in those areas, but really just his personality outshines all of it.
And Sawyer has never let his disability be an excuse. When Sawyer was 3 years old, his parents noticed he had an amazing ear for music.
Yeah, he has the ability to listen to something and harmonize beautifully with it.
That was it. That was the moment.
I'm not sure it's because he's blind and his hearing senses are heightened, but he picks up on things and can learn it very quickly.
Oh yeah, I sung last week. We sung No Will.
His love for singing has only grown, but Sawyer doesn't complicate things. He simply sings to bring people joy.
I love singing for people and just, what can I say, inspire others maybe?
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe inspire others.
You told me that you like that it makes people happy.
Yeah, and smile. And smile, yeah,
Yeah.
and smile.
That was super awesome, and that was Sawyer there. Super awesome story, and that just about does it. And I am glad we ended on such a high note, like right there. But I hope you all have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Make sure you all stay dry this weekend, and just have fun, but stay out of trouble. But with WAFF 48, I'm A.J. Wuest, and I'm on your side. And of course, you all know the drill. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great weekend.